Good morning. This is Grassroots Rising, and I'm Jimmy Skogard. I'm going to talk about why the center must speak. I stood at the pump this morning and watched the numbers climb. The meter went clickety click, clickety click. Every gallon felt like a small argument with the future. I thought about the nurse driving to work before sunrise and the rancher filling up a pickup, the parent deciding whether to top off the tank or save a few dollars for groceries. That is the economy. A chart can explain it, a slogan can spin it, but the receipt tells the truth. The economy is a receipt in our hand, and the receipt is talking. It tells us what a week costs. It tells us what a trip to work costs. It tells us what it takes to keep a household moving across the state as wide as Wyoming. Fuel touches everything. It touches groceries before groceries even reach the shelf. It touches the drive to the doctor. It touches the small business owner who absorbs a cost one month, passes the cost along the next, then hopes the community can keep it up. Fuel touches every working family trying to stretch a paycheck across too much each month. Then we add in healthcare. Then we add in insurance. Then we add rent, interest, repairs, groceries, and the quiet little emergencies that show up at the worst possible time. Then our apathy grows. Our apathy just comes from exhaustion. It comes from getting hit from every direction until a person finally says, why bother? I feel like one voice in a state full of noise. What difference can I make? I understand that feeling. I feel the weight of it too. I'm running a campaign with limited resources trying to reach people through a wall of noise. I set out my posts, I host events, I talk to people face to face, I keep trying to cut through. Some days it feels like I'm speaking into the Wyoming wind. But that pump brought it back into focus for me. That pump cares about real life. It spins because life costs real money, and that is where the center must speak. The center is strong, tired, practical, and ready for a better way. The center is working. The center is raising children. The center is driving to shifts, checking the bank account, paying the insurance bills, wondering how healthcare got so expensive, and asking why politics seems built to inflame everything except the problems right in front of us. Searching for a political home means the old containers have failed, means also we are ready to build something better. But here's the trap. When ordinary citizens check out, the loudest voice with the most money wins. When tired people stay home, paid noise gets a clear road. When neighbors stop talking about real costs, the conversation gets hijacked by whatever outrage is the most profitable that day. Our apathy is expensive. Division is a surcharge we keep paying. Every time we get pulled into another manufactured fight, we lose time, we lose focus, we lose trust. And while we're busy being angry at one another, the real questions drift out of reach. Why does healthcare cost so much? Why does insurance feel like paying for protection that may vanish when we need it the most? Why does a tank of gas feel like a strategic decision? Why are we working people paying more and getting less? Who benefits when we're too tired to ask these questions together? That's the conversation I want us to have. Have it together as citizens, as neighbors, as people who still believe government is supposed to work for us. The answer is organizing. Organized neighbors. Hope is a decision to organize. Hope is the parent who says, I am tired, and hope is the small business owner who says, I will tell the truth about what these costs are doing. Hope is the retiree who says, I will call 3 neighbors and ask them what issue is hitting the hardest. Hope is a volunteer who gives 1 hour because 1 hour multiplied across the state becomes a movement. We can start today. So here's the repair plan. Tell one true story about the economy. Make it plain. Tell what the pump costs you. Tell us what the insurance costs you. Tell us what health care costs you. Tell us what it means when groceries and gas are fighting for space on the same paycheck. Then ask 3 neighbors one question. What cost is hitting your family hardest right now? Listen to that answer. Maybe even write it down. Share that answer. That's how we replace paid noise with real voices. That's how we set the agenda for ourselves. That's how the center speaks. Then take one more step. Volunteer 1 hour, help with calls, help the voter outreach, help with events, help share stories, help one neighbor check registration and make a voting plan. The vote is the final act, but the work begins before the ballot. We are tired, yes, and tired people can still rise. We are scattered, yes, and scattered people can still organize. We're searching for a political home, and together we can build one out of truth, work, and accountability. The center must speak because the center pays the bills. The center raises the kids. The center works the shift. The center drives the road. The center carries the future. And when the center speaks, the receipts become more than a burden. They become evidence. They become testimony. It becomes the beginning of repair. If you have stood at the pump and felt the cost of this moment in your gut, then it's time to rise. Time to tell your story. Time to ask your neighbor what cost is hitting hardest. Volunteer for an hour. Check your registration. Vote with a purpose. Find out what the candidates out there are building or what they're tearing down. If they're tearing down, let's move them aside. Move them along. Because agency means the ability to decide our future for ourselves. We still hold that power, and it grows when we use it. Our children and our grandchildren's legacy is in our hands now. Join the movement at schoolguard2026.org. Thank you for listening today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.